We bake bread and buns and everything that smells delicious, and we also make milled products, as well as having some retail and deli fronts as well. We were looking to upgrade our systems. And the challenge that we had is we had two different companies on two different QuickBooks files and spreadsheets and networks and everything in between. And we needed a better solution. And so we chose to go down the journey of implementing an ERP system holistically across both organizations that will take care of everything that we need. When we were looking at whether we should do it, like a full-fledged implementation company or a partner to go along with us, we chose to go more of the partner route. And luckily Aptean really supported and actually proposed Adroit to us, and we agreed, and I'm glad we did, because the resources we saw at Adroit were stronger than what was available at the time with the Aptean team. We met as a group to start getting all the information that we need to say, okay, what should a system do? And getting that not only list, but the buy-in from the end stakeholders and the end users was difficult. But everyone that we had as part of that core team were completely in and saw, like, if we're going to make a change, let's really make it a good, beneficial change. When we were going through the discovery and the demoing process, Adroit came in and they really took the time to understand, okay, here's how things move through the sales team or the accounting team. And more importantly, here's how it works operationally. And does the system match what we need to do operationally? And Adroit really took the time to understand that. They were very hands-on, and then arranged the correct resources in order to make sure that the project was successful. Knowing everything to that, what the end user is going to interface with is critical to the success of a project. When we started the project, Adroit came out with a project plan and said, based off the other projects that have been ran, this is what works. And that's when we revised the time frame to meet our 8 or 9 month implementation schedule. And then the team was fantastic. So we had a few different advisors. We had a WMS advisor, his name was Ormond, super smart guy. We had an ops advisor, and then we also had a financial advisor. And Rock, being the ops advisor, he knows the system frontwards and backwards. He just knows things about Aptean and Business Central. And Troy can run circles around most people in finance in regards to the system. And when not everything went perfectly with the project, it never does. But when it didn't, Stuart and the rest of the Adroit team, they were very quick to pivot and make sure our project got back on track and become a success. So they were very much as invested in the project as we were. The board wanted some very specific dates, and so we took a usual 12-month implementation and we made it an 8 to 9 month implementation. And we met very early on, and Adroit was very, very supportive. And we said, okay, what would we have to do in order to compress this? And we came up with a revised implementation timeframe, what we'd have to do in training and configuration. And we also had to meet internally and say, to meet this timeline, we have to dedicate more resources for longer periods of time in order to make this happen. So it was an Adroit commitment. It was also an internal commitment. And we actually hit that schedule. It was a huge accomplishment, but it was a very fast-paced journey for that 8-9 months. Having come from two different systems and two different companies and two different geographical locations, it was a challenge to get any sort of information and processes to be the same. And now we have a unified, it's cloud-based system where everything is one place, and literally we can be anywhere pulling up data. It's the same data. It's one source of truth, and there's everything that feeds into that. But it's a massive benefit to have one source where everything is true and accurate and consistent. Sometimes with large companies, you can get lost in the weeds. And having an implementation partner who's dedicated to the success of your organization is critical to the success of the project. I highly recommend Adroit for any sort of implementation because of their expertise and their drive and their commitment to you.